This video will be going through the first year of the cats of Silver Fern Clan in their new home. I warn that some of the story, as well as a bit of the artwork, will mention cats getting injured, illness, and events of death. I will avoid graphic detail, but the storytelling may be upsetting for those who are extremely sensitive to these topics. I ask you to watch with that in mind, and always feel free to stop and leave the video, or skip ahead if you become uncomfortable. Thank you. With that out of the way, welcome to my next episode of my Clangen series for Silver Fern Clan. This video will feature a rundown of the first year of the cat's new life in the forest. I'll be talking about the cats we've gained, cats we've lost, and what's happened. I appreciate the patience you have all had. Creating this video took a long time, and comments of encouragement along the way have meant so much. I hope you look forward to more episodes to come. If you haven't already, I recommend going to watch the first episode introducing the clan, which you can find in the description or on my channel. In the previous episode, Erminekit was voted to be our main character. I've made this artwork featuring her, Eaglebounce, Rainkit, Vineleaf, and Webghost to celebrate that. I'll be doing at least one special artwork featuring her for episode intros, as well as put extra focus into her throughout the years. Now, onto a quick rundown of what's happened during this year. When the clan arrived in their new territory, they began trying their best to settle in. Ravenstar and Hazyburr were quick to go hunting and provide for the elders and kits. Vineleaf went searching for herbs, but found herself getting too distracted, so she instead went to tell stories to Rainkit with Webghost. Eaglebounce, acting as a mother figure to Erminekit, encouraged her to go join in, but Erminekit refused. One day, Rainkit suddenly died, heightening tensions between Crouchkit and Erminekit due to rumors being spread. Ravenstar's advances were rejected by Vineleaf, upsetting him. Eaglebounce's efforts to defuse this upset Ravenstar more. Sappaw became Hazyburr's apprentice, but on their first patrol, the two were attacked by dogs guided by Clan, leaving Spotfin with a torn pelt. The tension between Clan and Silver Fern Clan were only made worse when the elder Oakflood was found dead near Clan's border. That ended up being the last the clan had heard from Clan for the time being. Erminekit encountered Crouchkit's rumors by spreading her own. Eaglebounce did her best to help the kids get along, however. When winter came around, Crouchpaw was assigned as Ravenstar's apprentice, and Hazyburr revealed her unexpected pregnancy to the clan's surprise. Eaglebounce left to visit neighbor Rosie Clan to settle some issues. When she returned, she found out that Webghost had peacefully died in her sleep from old age. Rumors about badgers left Vineleaf trying to find safer methods of gathering herbs. She ended up getting attacked and escaped with a mangled tail. Erminekit caught and recovered from green cough just in time for her apprentice ceremony and was assigned to Ravenstar. Eaglebounce tried to convince Vineleaf to run away with her, startling the medicine cat, since Hazyburr's kits were due. Hazyburr gave birth to two kits, Scorchkit and Cinderkit. Ravenstar, though awkward, joined her in the nursery. They announced that the kits are theirs, but they won't be official mates. Ravenstar later caught yellow cough, as well as gotten a broken bone. Spotfin was badly injured by a falling branch, badly breaking his jaw. Spring came around and Vineleaf's mangled tail became infected. The clan was surprised when Erminepaw and Crouchpaw found an abandoned kit while on patrol and rushed 4-moon-old Sapkit back to the clan. While Hazyburr was no longer suffering from blood loss and Ravenstar recovered from yellow cough, Spotpaw's jaw infection got worse. Vineleaf's tail only got worse as the moon passed and she couldn't tend to his injuries properly. Rosie Clan's medicine cat asked if the clan could spare some dandelions, but Silver Fern Clan had to refuse. Erminepaw and Crouchpaw also heard howling nearby and warned the clan. Things were incredibly difficult during these moons. Once Hazyburr recovered from her labor, she became the mentor of Sappaw. Dogs were discovered to have been hunting in the clan's territory. When summer came around, Vineleaf and Spotpaw finally began to feel better. Crouchheart became a warrior and took over as the clan's storyteller. The entire clan seemed healthy again. Spotpaw was promoted to be a warrior as well once he began feeling better this moon, earning the name Spotfin. Meanwhile, Eaglebounce failed to resolve issues between Silver Fern Clan and Rosie Clan. Another neighboring clan, Bitter Clan, also seemed to hate Silver Fern Clan. In this time of high tension between clans, Vineleaf found and brought home a cat named Pocket and her newborn kits. Scorchpaw and Cinderpaw were made apprentices. Scorchpaw was apprenticed to Spotfin, and Cinderpaw to Crouchheart. Hazyburr took Sappaw patrolling and he caught a rabbit. Unfortunately, the rabbit turned out to be ill and poisoned several cats. When autumn came around, Crouchheart went missing for a few days and returned with this collar around his neck. Eaglebounce took ill. She's been weak, barely responsive, and even coughing up blood. At the end of the 12th moon of the year, Vineleaf visited StarClan. Webghost commented on seeing Eaglebounce's future demise. Now that you have a rundown of what happened over the year, I'll go into a more detailed look into every cat's experience. During the first year, Ravenstar mentored both Crouchheart and Erminepaw. He seemed to want to pursue a mate very quickly, perhaps being eager to get the clan growing as fast as possible. Getting turned down by Vineleaf frustrated him, and Eaglebounce defending her choice only made him turn cold and ignore anyone's advice. The clan was pretty shocked when he announced that he was the father of Hazyburr's kits. He and the deputy hadn't shown any romantic interest in each other before or after the kits were born. During Hazyburr's pregnancy, he occasionally showed a compassionate side that the clan appreciated. His usual cold personality would always come back, however, such as when he denied help to an abandoned kitty pet who was crying on the side of the thunder path. I decided to draw him with a bit of a weak leg, considering his bone was broken so recently, and he was sick on top of it. He hadn't lost any lives this year, despite some close calls. Hazyburr quickly learned just how difficult their new life would be when Time Clan led the dogs to attack her patrol. The clan isn't entirely sure why she chose to have kits with Ravenstar, but once winter came around she had 2 healthy toms, Scorchkit and Cinderkit, who bear a heavy resemblance to her. The difficulties of pregnancy and birth took a toll on her, as she suffered from blood loss during the labor of her kits, but she managed to bounce back well. Whenever their mentors were ill, she took the opportunity to train as many apprentices as possible. While she only officially mentored Spotfin and Sappaw, she contributed greatly to the training of all the apprentices. She did well in chasing away dogs and enemy cats, using them to her advantage. One time, her patrol found an entire deer that some dogs had killed. She and her clan gratefully ate what they could of it after the 2 legs dragged the dogs away. Her thrill was suddenly halted when a rabbit she encouraged Sappaw to catch ended up poisoning her and many other clan members, including her dear friend Eaglebounce. She expresses fear that her dreams of a future with Eaglebounce might not come true. Finally found it difficult to search for herbs on the first moon, likely from the stress of moving. She spent her time telling stories to Rainkit with Webghost. The sudden death of Rainkit was difficult. The first death in their new clan, being a kit, wasn't what the struggling cats needed. The following death of her father, Oakflood, only made things worse. She felt no time to claim a mate and wanted to put all her attention in her medicine cat duties. When rumors came out that a badger was denning in the territory, she did her best to find herbs as safely as possible. She saw some raspberries in Osprey clan territory and assumed she'd be able to pick them quickly. Unfortunately, a patrol had been passing by and attacked her, ignoring her status as a medicine cat. They left her tail mangled and her unable to work from the pain. Things were made more stressful for Vineleaf when Eaglebounce asked her to run away with her. Determined to stick to her purpose as a medicine cat, Vineleaf turned her down and delivered Hazyburr's kits. The infection in her tail grew worse, and she struggled to properly care for her clan. It was only when the injury became nothing more than a scar that she finally relaxed and found herself having feelings for Ravenstar. While contemplating these feelings, she met Pocket and her kits, and gladly took them into the clan. She loved the kits and their mother dearly, and felt horror when 2 of the kits fell ill to the poisoned rabbit. At the end of the year, she visited Star Clan, seeking guidance. Our mediator, Eaglebounce, very quickly took on a motherly role towards Erminekit. Her disagreements with Ravenstar over clan strategies, like sharing prey and forming alliances, led to ongoing tensions. She had put her focus into guiding Erminekit into the best life she could, encouraging her to build friendships and stay out of trouble. The death of 3 clan members so early into the year frightened her. Eaglebounce visited other clans often, particularly their neighbor Rosie clan, trying to keep peace. She developed a crush on Vineleaf and wanted to run away with her and Erminepaw, but being rejected pushed her into a lonely silence. She spent a lot of time alone, struggling to maintain her duties as mediator and the allyship with Rosie clan. When Sappaw and Hazyburr shared the poisoned rabbit with her, she began to fall apart. Red cough developed quickly, and losing blood made her weak. Hearing that Star Clan had lost faith in her seemed to remove any hope she had left. With the higher ranks out of the way, now onto our warriors, starting with Pocket. Pocket was a cat living on a boat with 2 legs before she joined the clan. She left her former owners while pregnant and was found by Vineleaf when she went into labor. The clan welcomed her and her newborn kits. She wasn't entirely thrilled to be around so many strange cats, but Vineleaf kept her company. After her kids ended up sick from the bagged rabbit, she became harsh and snappy with other cats. I drew her to be a big, fluffy girl with a grumpy face. I love how she came out, honestly. Spotfin's apprenticeship was pretty difficult. During his first patrol with Hazyburr, he was attacked by dogs and left with a torn pelt. He showed appreciation towards kitty pets that most of the clan struggled with. In return, the kitty pets would give him warnings about badger sightings and some advice. While Hazyburr was recovering from labor, Spotpaw was training alone in the forest when suddenly a tree branch fell on top of him. He struggled to free himself and took shelter in a bush nearby. The clan found him and he woke up in the medicine den with a broken jaw the next day. An infection grew and he struggled to stay conscious. During this time, he experienced strange dreams that he would tell Vineleaf about. Despite his weak state, he would listen to Cat's struggles and give encouragement. He was promoted to be a warrior once he began feeling better. At 15 moons old, he earned the name Spotfin and was honored for his affection. Hazyburr tried her best to influence him, to use his teeth and claws over words and be cold. Ravenstar knew he has a kind heart, but he isn't sure how that will serve in war. He found that his jaw may forever be broken and that his dreams may forever be strange, but that didn't stop him. He took on Hazyburr's son, Scorchpaw, as his apprentice. During a training session, Spotfin and Scorchpaw discussed why the clan chose a forest to live in. Scorchpaw went on a rant about how Silver Fern clan is awesome because they aren't kitty pets. Spotfin stopped him. That wasn't the point of the lesson. He makes an effort to show kindness to every cat. Our final warrior is Crouchheart. When Rainkit died, Crouchkit suddenly began to spread rumors about Erminekit. The clan was unsure if this was a reaction out of grief or trying to blame someone. After Erminekit started to fight back, however, he stopped. When winter came around, Crouchpaw was assigned as Ravenstar's apprentice, which he was very proud of. He and Erminepaw began to get along better during their apprenticeship, and the two even found an abandoned kit together while on patrol. At 13 moons old, Crouchpaw was named Crouchheart in honor of his observance. Ravenstar influenced him to behave erratically, but still follow rules. He found that he became better at storytelling over time and took over as a clan storyteller. Once Hazyburr's kits were old enough, Cinderpaw was made his apprentice. He began to distance himself from the clan around this time, going missing for days and eventually returned wearing a collar. He refused to take it off, but remains loyal to Silver Fern clan, so they allow it. He also found himself gaining a small crush on Erminepaw. Our apprentices begin with our main character, Erminepaw. As a kit, she started out distant to everyone but Eaglebounce, who tried to encourage her to make friends. The rumors that Crouchkit spread about her only made that distance worse. She reacted by faking a friendship with him and then spreading his secrets. When Eaglebounce scolded her for this, she tried to sneak out of the camp and protest. Hazyburr's pregnancy was exciting for Erminekit. She would no longer be the youngest clan member. She wanted to spend all her time around Hazyburr, so Eaglebounce decided to do some playful sparring with Erminekit to keep her off of Hazyburr's back. The next moon, Erminekit caught green cough. Ravenstar admired her bravery during her sickness and encouraged her through it. The compassion coming from the usually cold-hearted leader was shocking. She recovered from green cough just in time for her apprentice ceremony, and Ravenstar took her on as his apprentice. She was uncertain if this is the right path for her, because she admires Eaglebounce's work as a mediator rather than a fighter. Still, she sticks to being a warrior apprentice. When it came time for an assessment of hers, Erminepaw expressed nervousness about it, making Eaglebounce worried for her. The clan was surprised when Erminepaw and Crouchpaw found an abandoned kit on their patrol. The clan welcomed Sapkit. When Eaglebounce was spending time alone, Erminepaw was in the medicine den and venting to Spotpaw. He encouraged her to speak up and listen to her troubles sympathetically. This pep talk helped Erminepaw. She began to bring the kits some feathers to entertain them and went patrolling very often with Crouchpaw. During one of these patrols, she saw a two-leg cooking food over a fire, which she found fascinating. The apprentices have also heard howling nearby and warned the clan. As Spotpaw recovered, Erminepaw wanted to get to know Vineleaf better, feeling a sudden respect for their medicine cat. When Ravenstar's bone began feeling better, he and Erminepaw were able to go on patrol together again. The clan was encouraging her to be more confident, showering her with encouragement and compliments. Although her apprenticeship has been slow, she's been making great improvements in her abilities and personality. She came far from the shy little kit she used to be. Sapkit was found at 4 moons old by Crouchpaw and Erminepaw. Since he was so young, he was raised somewhat alongside Hazyburr's kids, although he didn't view them as siblings. Once Hazyburr recovered from her labor, she was assigned as his mentor. His training sessions often involve the other apprentices as well, which he doesn't mind. Together they've chased away dogs and rogues and captured all kinds of different prey. He does his best to encourage Erminepaw, despite being a bit awkward around her. One time, Hazyburr took Sappaw patrolling and he caught a rabbit. Unfortunately, this rabbit turned out to be ill. Hazyburr, Sappaw, Eaglebounce, Gentlekit, and Thicketkit were all poisoned. He feels horrible for this and began keeping to himself. Scorchpaw is the first son of Hazyburr and Ravenstar's litter. His mentor is Spotfin. He's very proud of everything he does, even just for being the son of the leader and deputy. One time, he fought a dog to protect Spotfin and was barely hurt, which he bragged about to anyone who would listen. He makes it clear how much he dislikes kitty pets, a trait he inherited from his father, as he side-eyes Crouchheart and Pocket. However, Spotfin is teaching him to respect all cats despite their background. There is hope that having a kind-hearted mentor will better address his personality. I wanted him to look very much like his mother in his artwork. He doesn't really look much like his father, in my opinion, compared to Cinderpaw, who you will see very soon. The final apprentice is Cinderpaw, Scorchpaw's brother. When he was assigned as Crouchheart's apprentice, he was unsure if it was the right path for him. He's a sweet cat and does his best to cheer up everyone's day, even giving compliments to Erminepaw that make her feel shy. He seems far more interested in keeping peace with others than fighting. The clan can't help but notice his little crush on Erminepaw as he finds every opportunity to spend time with her. While his colors are identical to Hazyburr's, he has the short size of his father, Ravenstar. While there isn't much to say about the kits quite yet, I will still go through each one of them. Pocket had 4 kits, which are all girls, and the first one is Gentlekit. She was poisoned by the rabbit Sappaw brought back. She's a little grumpy like her mom. I like how she seems to wear pants with how her colors are split. Next is Coatikit. Coatikit is just a silly little girl. She looks like she has a mustache, and everyone seems to love that about her who's seen her artwork so far. Not much to say about her. She's just having a good time, honestly. Goldkit is my favorite of the kits. Her patterns were very fun to draw, as well as her pose. I am so excited to see how she grows and develops as she gets older. The final kit is Thicketkit, who was also poisoned by the rabbit. I gave her big ears, which I thought were cute, and she will finish off the living cats for us here. On to cats that have died this year, starting with Rainkit. Rainkit's death was very sudden. He just became weak and died. Nothing could be done to help or prevent it. It left a bit of an impact on Crouchkit and Erminekit's relationship, unfortunately. I drew him in a cute little pose, floating in StarClan as a kit. It's a shame that Oakflood wasn't able to die of old age, although he did live a long life. It's assumed that the dogs roaming TimeClan are what killed him, since that ended up being the last that was heard of TimeClan. I assume the dogs wiped out the entire clan as well. For her Star Clan spirit, I chose to have his scars glowing white, as well as white drip from his stomach to represent his cause of death. And finally, Webghost. Webghost spent her last few moons just sharing stories with the clan. Not much happened during her life in Silver Fern Clan, aside from getting a splinter while repairing some den walls. She simply passed in her sleep and is floating happily in Star Clan, continuing to share her stories with Rainkit. She was the one to warn Vineleaf of Eaglebounce's future demise. And that is all for the first year of Silver Fern Clan. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and thank you again for all your patience in waiting for it. The art alone took around 27 hours to complete, not including scrapped pieces. I was going to draw important events from every moon, but decided that just drawing each cat and talking about their experiences was better for storytelling and for my sanity. This voiceover took a long time to complete, and I had a lot of struggles with the mic, so I hope it sounded well enough. Captions are still provided just in case. The second year is already in the works and will hopefully be out much sooner. With that, I hope you had a good rest of your time, and would love for you to drop a comment on your thoughts if you made it all the way through the video. Till the next one.